Hello, my name is Lauren Graham and this is my Touring the Community video. So I'm going to be talking about a school called the Classical Academy, which is really great because I grew up right down the road from the school, so I'll be able to share some of my own experience in my own community, so I'm excited to do that. So to start, the demographics of the community, including different cultures represented. So Colorado Springs is predominantly white, and this is also reflected at the school, because in the 2025 or the 2024 to 2025 school year, there were 902 white males enlisted and 791 white females enrolled. And the next most common is Hispanic or Latino females at 111. So it's a really, really big jump from 700 and 900 down to 100. That doesn't mean that other cultures aren't represented, as there are African American students, there are Asian students, American Indian or Alaskan Native students, as well as Hispanic or Latino, like I already mentioned, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander students, or the mixed race families as well, which is really great. So there's multiple cultures being represented at the school, even though it is predominantly white. So that brings us to the next part, common places students spend time outside of school. So growing up here, I can attest that a lot of students are involved in extracurricular sports. My brother was involved in Little League, I was involved in softball, my sister was involved in soccer, and I can say that's still the case. I babysit for a lot of kids here too. They're still involved in football, soccer, all that stuff. So it's a very active community. And so I'd say a lot of the time spent outside of school is done at sports, but there's also activities. I'll be referencing this source a couple of times, and it just gives activities that are kid-friendly in Colorado Springs, and a lot of them are at libraries. So there's a lot of activities for libraries, especially like there's book readings, and that's for kids of all ages, so even if you have like the littler siblings, the babies, they can be brought to these activities as well, so it's great for families. So I'd say families are really involved in sports, and they're involved in just extracurricular things at the libraries, and that's the most common places. There's also a lot of outdoorsy stuff, like going on hikes and stuff like that. And so that's where you would most commonly find families, and those are the most common activities in Colorado Springs. And so that brings us to the next place, which is places where families shop, eat, and socialize. So specific to TCA, there is a Chick-fil-A right nearby, and when I drive by or when I go there, there's always families in there, and there's, especially after school, some of the older students walk up to Chick-fil-A because it's really close. And so the Chick-fil-A is a really, really great place, especially because it has a play area for all the littler kids. And so that's where I'd say the families do the most socializing outside of school with each other. And that's where you see more of the families there, meet and greet families, right? But there's also shopping areas that aren't too far, like the Briargate shops are really great and really welcoming to families. They have certain events that they host sometimes, like a movie night that they set out like a big projector screen. It's really fun. But families are just welcome all over Colorado, so there's lots of places that they can socialize, shop, eat, so it's really great. And then some kid-friendly activities in the area. So like the source I listed earlier, it lists a lot of activities at like the libraries that can be hosted by the libraries, but there's also, it lists Boys and Girls Club, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, like the readings of the books at the libraries. It's really, really great. Story times. And there's also like Mommy and Me stuff, Circle of Friends playgroup, Club of Arts Learning Center. It's really great stuff. So there's a bunch of kid-friendly activities, especially when you go to the library and especially in the summertime. They have a lot of book clubs, and it's really great to get involved and to meet more kids, meet more families. And so there's a lot of activities that families can get involved in. And then places of worship and their influence on the community. So it is a predominantly Christian community as well. There's a source that talks about how churches have shaped the city of Colorado Springs and just how important churches are in our community. And so it's really great. There's a ton of churches, and the influence they have had in our culture have been numerous. And so if you want to learn more about that, I encourage to check the source out. But this community is really, really great. I grew up here. TCA is a good school. And so that concludes my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something about my community.